The Mirage 2000 adds some 4th generation punch to the French air tree in War Thunder. Finally, France doesn't suffer? Let's find out. The Dassault Mirage 2000 was actually developed originally as a backup project to the failed Mirage G8 program. In the end, the Mirage 2000 had the right combination of price, interception capabilities, and weapon systems to match what the French Air Force was looking for at the time, and in 1976 they officially requested further development of the design. The program was relatively trouble-free compared to a lot of other Cold War-era fighter projects, and the first prototype started flying in 1978, with the first serial delivery of the type to the French Air Force in 1983. The C model was the basic fighter version and the first to go into regular service. Right from the start, the plane showed amazing performance and started to replace the earlier designs very quickly. Now, while it was largely seen as an evolutionary step over third-generation fighters, rather than a revolutionary new design, it still had top-end capabilities and was competitive with basically every other fighter in the world during the 1980s and 90s. The Mirage 2000 was eventually developed into a variety of different versions, including a nuclear strike aircraft, a tactical interdiction bomber, a bunch of trainer versions, and several advanced fighter variants. Despite being originally designed as a fighter, the Mirage 2000 has seen only limited air combat over its lifespan, with only one claimed kill during an encounter between a Greek Mirage and a Turkish F-16, but the details of that encounter are unclear, with Turkey claiming that the Mirage shot down their F-16, but Greece claiming that the Turkish F-16 had an engine failure. Whatever the case, the vast majority of the Mirage 2000's actual combat has been in the ground strike mission, or as an escort for strike jets. In total, the Mirage 2000 has flown for 9 countries. Some of them are still using it today. What we get in War Thunder is the Mirage 2000C-S5, a jet fighter in Rank 7 of the French air tree with a battle rating of 11.3. The Mirage 2000 carries the Thompson CSF RDI radar set, which is an advanced multi-mode pulse Doppler radar with multiple dish angles, a track while scan mode, multiple range presets, and an ACM boresight mode. Note that, as of making this video, the track while scan mode is not indicated on the stat card, but it's there. The only real shortcoming of the radar set is its lack of vertical scanning angles, but overall, that's a minor issue. Now, the plane also has a full ballistics computer for its air-to-ground weapons, a radar warning receiver, and a supply of countermeasures. As a special note, if you take the countermeasures, it'll block your landing chute from deploying, but really, that's a no-brainer of a trade-off. You also get a pair of 30mm DEFA cannons with 270 rounds of ammo. Now, the plane gets custom loadouts with access to missiles, rocket pods, and dumb bombs. It can only take a total of 4 air-to-air missiles, though, which feels like a pretty light load for a top-tier jet like this. The Mirage 2000 gets the R550 Magic air-to-air missile, both the Magic 1 and Magic 2. These are high-performance air-to-air weapons, with the Magic 2 being a bit of an upgrade in just about every way, with better tracking and an all-aspect seeker. These are both short-range dogfight missiles, and you'll probably get a lot of kills with them. For medium-range weapons, the plane gets the Super 530 semi-active radar homing missile, and it gets the D and F models. The D model has better range, speed, tracking, and a slight edge in maneuvering, but it's a little heavier. In practice, the 530D is one of the best semi-active radar missiles currently in the game, and I got some really surprising kills with it against maneuvering targets. The flight performance of the Mirage 2000 is amazing. This is a 4th generation jet fighter, and it really shows. The acceleration is strong, rate of climb is excellent, and its agility is top-notch. The plane has leading-edge slats on the wings, which reduce its energy bleed in tight turns compared to other pure delta wing designs, and it has small strakes above the air intakes that provide additional benefits to its handling. You can use this to your advantage in dogfights, as a lot of people are going to think they can bleed you down and energy trap you, but the Mirage 2000 isn't anywhere near as susceptible to that as the earlier Mirage 3 family, and in one-on-one dogfights, this jet is at least equal to basically anything else currently in the game. Now, this jet does not have combat flaps, but it doesn't need them. And it gets air brakes that can help a bit when you need to manage your airspeed a little bit more carefully. The strong engine power not only helps with acceleration and top-end speed, but combined with the wing slats, it makes energy management in tight turns significantly better than most earlier fighters. Now, there are a few caveats to its flight performance, though. First, it has a low-altitude wing rip speed of around 1,350 kilometers an hour, and it can fly itself apart in level flight if you crank the Afterburner and just punch it. You have to watch your airspeed, and when using the Afterburner, the Mirage 2000 won't hit an aerodynamic wall until well past its wing rip speed, and its acceleration remains good throughout the entire power curve. Really, watch your airspeed, and once you push past Mach 1.1, you really ought to think about slowing down at low altitude. Also noteworthy, the Mirage 2000 doesn't guzzle fuel quite as badly as some of the other top-tier jets, and even flying out making generous use of the Afterburner, you probably won't run into any fuel issues in normal matches. Just remember to gas up for EC, and you'll be fine. Taking this jet into air battles gives you all the options you'd want from a top-tier fighter. Your radar set and good medium-range missiles will let you climb out for high-altitude combat if that's your thing. Or you can stay low and fight down near the ground without any caveats. The track-wall scan mode on the radar set can make target selection dramatically easier when you're selecting what you want to attack with the Super 530 missiles. And it can even be useful in short-range engagements to slave the R550 magics onto a target quickly during a turn. The only thing that really holds the Mirage 2000 back in air combat is its limited weapons load. Only 4 missiles in total, and only 2 of each type, semi-active radar or infrared. This means that if you prefer close-in dogfighting and you don't care about radar missiles, you don't get the option to swap out the Super 530s for more magics, and you're still only limited to 2. And similarly, if you prefer medium-range missile shots, you cap out at 2 radar missiles. This is really a pretty light overall payload for a 4th generation fighter, but at least the weapons it carries are good ones. In terms of ground attack, well, this is a fighter version of the Mirage 2000, and ground pounding isn't really one of its strengths. Yes, it has the ballistics computer, but it doesn't get any guided air-to-ground weapons, so you're basically limited to a load of dumb bombs that isn't really enough to take out a base. In a practical sense, base bombing can be okay while grinding upgrades in the plane, but after you've got all your weapons unlocked, just stick to air combat. Similarly, in close air support, the Mirage is far more useful as air cover than as ground attack. You have to get close to the battlefield to use the dumb bombs, and in top-tier ground battles, the lower and closer you get, the more vulnerable you are to SPAA. UAVs are going to be really easy targets, though, as the Mirage 2000's radar set has no trouble tracking them. Visually, I love the look of this plane. This is one of those jets that just looks mean and fast, and thankfully its performance doesn't let you down. The hard angles and even the refueling probe all look great, and you get a few custom paint jobs to go with it, so that's always a bonus. Landing the Mirage 2000 is pretty easy, with a couple caveats. As I mentioned before, taking the countermeasures blocks the landing chute, so you'll have a little bit longer of a landing run than other jets, but past that, just make sure you drop gear below 425 kilometers an hour, and you'll probably be fine. Given the strong engine and useful air brakes, managing the landing speed is pretty easy. Now, the cockpit on this jet is just amazing. The visibility is great, it's got a radar warning receiver right where I like it, and the radar scope is easy to check at a quick glance. Also, the jet has a mature heads-up display, and flying in VR, I almost never found myself checking any cockpit instruments, really except for the radar scope. To close out on the Mirage 2000. This is a 4th generation fighter with a really good weapon system. It gets effective air-to-air missiles, its flight performance is amazing, it gets an adequate amount of ammo for its cannons, and it has a great cockpit for VR. However, it only gets 4 air-to-air missiles, it doesn't get any precision-guided air-to-ground weapons, and taking the countermeasures blocks the landing chute. The final verdict on the Mirage 2000C-S5 is that this jet finally gives the French air tree a top-end fighter that's competitive against really everything else currently in the game, and it hopefully makes up for the lukewarm reception that the community had for the Mirage F1. This jet is an even match for other 4th generation fighters, and it has great performance without feeling overpowered in the meta. Overall, this is a great addition. As always, thanks for watching.